Hey Siri, set timer for 14 minutes.
Okay, 14 minutes and counting.
Waiting for cookies. Hey Siri, play me waiting playlist. Thank you.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do
Me so hungry for cookie.
is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you.
Hey Siri, check the timer.
Here's the timer.
Last forever.
Oh,
If words could make.
Hi everyone. Well, that was just an excuse to watch Cookie Monster. If you didn't know already, I really love the Muppets and Sesame Street. But it's also an introduction to the next Beatitude we're looking at today. It'll make sense in a bit, honest. This morning we're looking at the fourth Beatitude. I'm looking at Matthew chapter 5 verse 6. The NIV translation is, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." I wouldn't normally choose to do a talk, but I love the Sermon on the Mount and especially the Beatitudes. So here I am. Neil's already done an introduction to the Beatitudes, but it doesn't hurt to go over things. I know I often need reminding of stuff at my age. The Beatitudes are where Jesus declares the blessings of God's kingdom. He gives us a vision of a world saved by love and the qualities of discipleship which will bring about change. The Beatitudes sum up Jesus' teaching about what it means to live as a child of God's kingdom. In a few short sentences, the Beatitudes, I think, are perhaps the most important and revolutionary text in the Bible. I chose this particular beatitude or blessing, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, because it's the one I feel I might actually be able to achieve, as it means those who seek to follow God's way. In the Good News, it's translated as, "Happy are those whose greatest desire is to do what God requires. God will satisfy them fully." The Message translation is, "You're blessed when you've worked up a good appetite for God. He's food and drink in the best meal you'll ever eat." The Living Bible says, "Happy are those who long to be just and good, for they shall be completely satisfied." The International Children's Bible says, "Those who want to do right more than anything else are happy. God will fully satisfy them." To understand the fourth Beatitude, it might help to understand what Jesus meant by righteousness. In ancient Judaism, righteousness meant to free, to uphold, or restore a right relationship. Righteous people are those who maintain right and good relationships with God, with other people, and with the world around them. Are we blessed with right relationships, you and me? It flows from meekness, the third beatitude, being meek, gentle, modest, because we can only form right relationships with others when we stop making all our actions and everything we do revolve around ourselves. Another view about this beatitude is that Jesus has in mind people who are hungry to see righteousness win. Blessed are those who want more for this world, who want justice and mercy and kindness and truth in this world. They long for justice, fairness, honesty to overcome what's wrong and evil in our world. These people will be satisfied because the kingdom of heaven will bring an end to all unrighteousness, all injustice, all unfairness. their appetite for righteousness will be completely satisfied. So, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Being hungry and thirsty causes pain and discomfort. The cookie monster, waiting very patiently for his cookies to cook, was just a silly illustration. But we've all experienced hunger and thirst at some points in our lives. And of course, there are whole areas of the world where people experience desperate hunger, starvation and famine. I'm a big fan of Rob Bell, an American author and previously a pastor. We've watched a lot of his teachings in Thursday group and a few in past Sunday services, I think. Well, Rob Bell translates the fourth Beatitude like this. Blessed are those who ache because of how severely out of whack the world is. I think this puts a really good spin on it. How is it that our world can be filled with such beauty, such order, such goodness, yet at the same time be filled with such heartache and such pain? I want to be the kind of person who does the right thing. And I don't just mean the big things where right and wrong are obvious and easy, but also the small issues, the subtle, the unnoticed things. I think most of us want to do the right thing. But it's sometimes hard. We get distracted by matters going on in our own lives, the day-to-day stuff that bogs us down. We get caught up in ourselves and end up feeding on rubbish, on stuff that's not good for us. If we genuinely hunger for righteousness, for good relationships, for justice, for a better world, it means we really want it. So we will be people who do the right thing and not just use snack food for meeting our own needs. I'm also a massive fan of our Thursday group, our weekly Bible study group. And I learn so much from the people in it. I often say in Thursday group that I am a simple person, but I actually am. I'm not a trained theologian. And you can see that when I use Muppets for my examples. But very simply, I think the Beatitudes, these blessings that Jesus spoke about, are blessings for God's community, not just God's individuals. And that means for God's community here at Chelmsford Wood Baptist Church. I love Chelmsford Wood Baptist Church and I feel very honoured and privileged to be part of our amazing family, to be accepted warts and all, to be loved unconditionally by God and by you lot. That's grace right here. I think I've said to some of you before that I don't actually like my own company. In fact, I know I get on a lot of people's nerves, but I actually get on my own nerves a lot. So I think I'm a better person with other people around me. And I feel I'm a much better person for being part of our lovely church family. There are people in our church family who continuously live out the Beatitudes and who I see as my heroes. There's loads of you, too many to mention. I've only got time to mention one today, one example. And that's little Pat, as Ruth and Esther call her. I'm not too sure why they call her little Pat, because Pat is by no means little in her faith in God and her love for others. But a few years back, led by Pat, other Thursday group members showed their hunger and thirst for righteousness when the council pulled their funding on our pop-in drop-in group. Pat followed this up relentlessly with our local council and our MP. And with the help of funding found by Northern Star, Pat and most of the Thursday group now supports pop-in drop-in every single week. Maybe not a huge thing in some people's eyes, but doing the righteous thing for our community. As individuals, we might not succeed in achieving all the characteristics of the Beatitudes, but we are so blessed by the character of the entire Chelmsford Wood Baptist Church community around us. Straight after the Beatitudes, Jesus goes on to say this: "You are like light for the whole world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one lights a lamp and puts it under a bowl. Instead, it's put on the lampstand, where it gives light for everyone in the house. In the same way, your light must shine before people, so that they will see the good things you do and praise your Father in heaven." It's almost like he had Chelmsford Wood Baptist Church in mind when he said this. I've almost finished now, you'll be pleased to hear. Let's remember this. As we all walk together in God's kingdom, our hope should be to become more like those named as blessed. Become more meek, more merciful, more hungry for righteousness, more apt to make peace, and so on. Let's all hunger and thirst for righteousness for others, for our world. Let's all be the people who want to do the right thing. Then we'll be filled. It will be the best meal we ever eat. And God will completely satisfy us. Amen.
Ready on set. Let's roll camera, whatever you want to say.
Me good. Me ready.
Let's take 5.
Siri, you in there?
Hey, Cookie Monster.
You know me. She know me. Me gonna give you a cookie, Siri. Who's saying that? Was that Siri? Is it ready yet? How about now? 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 Um. What is that? It's ghost cookie. Me no have watch. Siri, is this annoying? Oh, me. Ow.
What happened?
Oh, me.
What happened?
Me got hit with slate. Oh. Me okay. Me okay. Me trooper. Ah, cookies ready. Cookies ready. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Cookies ready. Ah, thank you, Siri. Hey, Siri. Good night.
Good night.
Me wish me could close me eyes.